My girlfriend said, I told everyone we're trying for a baby. Now we have to, or I look like a liar. We'd never discussed children. I said, you made a commitment, not me. Then I ended the relationship and got a vasectomy to prevent future manipulation. When she told people, I changed my mind about kids. Original post. I, 28 male, have known exactly 3 things about myself since I was old enough to think clearly. I like building things with my hands. I'll eat almost anything if it's covered in hot sauce, and I don't want kids. That last one isn't casual. It's not, maybe someday or when I meet the right person. It's a decision I made in my early 20s after watching my older brother's life implode when he became a father at 21 with a woman he barely knew. He's a great dad now, loves his kids, does everything for them. But I watched him go from a guy who played guitar and worked on motorcycles to someone who looked 10 years older by 25, worked doubles at a warehouse 6 days a week, and had a permanent knot between his eyebrows from stress. He told me once, sitting on his back steps while his kids screamed inside, I love them more than anything, but if I could go back and do this on my own terms and my own timeline, I would. Don't let anyone rush you into this. I didn't. I've been clear about it in every relationship. First date disclosure. Not aggressively. I don't walk in and slam a manifesto on the table. But if it comes up naturally, and it always does, I say, I don't want kids. That's not flexible. If that's a deal breaker for you, I respect that completely, but we should know now. My girlfriend and I had been together for about 1.5 years. We met at a friend's barbecue, hit it off, started dating. She was fun, outgoing, the kind of person who knows everyone at a party and remembers their dog's name. I like her energy. She knew about my stance on kids from our second date. I told her straight up. She said, honestly, I'm not even thinking about kids right now. I'm focused on my career. She's a dental hygienist. We had what I thought was mutual understanding. We didn't live together. She had her apartment, I had mine. I'm an electrician. I work for a commercial contractor. I make good money, mid-70s, and I like my space. She liked hers. It worked. About 2 months ago, I went to her place for dinner on a Friday night. She'd made chicken Alfredo, which is her go-to when she wants to set a mood. Candles on the table. Wine. The Spotify playlist she only uses when she's building towards something. I noticed because she's not subtle. She is many things, but subtle is not one of them. We ate. It was good. We talked about normal stuff, her coworkers' drama, my week on the job site, whether we should try that new Thai place that opened up. Normal Friday. Then she said, so, I have something to tell you, and I need you to not freak out. In my experience, don't freak out is the emotional equivalent of the following content may be disturbing. It's a warning label, not a reassurance. Me? Okay. Her. So, you know my sister had her gender reveal last weekend? Me, yeah. You said it was a girl. Her. It was amazing. Everyone was so happy. And my mom was crying, and my aunt was crying, and my sister was glowing, and it was this beautiful moment. And people kept coming up to me asking when it was going to be my turn. Me? Okay. Her. And I may have, okay, don't freak out. I may have told a few people that we're trying. I set my fork down. Not dramatically. Just set it down because my hand needed to not be holding anything for a second. Me trying. Her. For a baby. I told them we're trying for a baby. Me. We've never had a single conversation about trying for a baby. Her. I know, but everyone was asking and my sister was getting all the attention and my mom kept making these comments about still waiting on you and it came out. Me. What exactly came out? Her. I said we've been talking about it and that we were going to start trying soon. Maybe after the new year. Me. After the new year. We're going to start trying to conceive a child. That's what you told your family. About a decision we have never once discussed. About a thing I have explicitly told you I don't want. Her. I know it sounds bad. Me. It sounds bad because it is bad. Her. But now everyone knows. My mom texted me this morning asking if I've started taking prenatal vitamins. My aunt sent me a link to a fertility tracker app. If I tell them I was lying, I look like an idiot. Me. So your solution is to actually have a baby. To avoid embarrassment. Her. When you say it like that, it sounds crazy. Me. It sounds crazy because it is crazy. Her. I'm not saying we have to do it right now. I'm just saying, maybe we could start the conversation? For real? Because honestly, I've been thinking about it anyway, and this could be the push we both need. The push we both need. Like becoming a parent is a spin class you need a friend to drag you to on a Saturday. I pushed back from the table. Not angry, resolved. There's a difference. Angry is loud. Resolved is quiet. Me, I'm going to say this once, and I need you to hear every word. I don't want children. I told you this on our second date. I've never wavered, never hinted, never given you any reason to believe otherwise. You told your family we're trying without asking me, without even floating the idea first. That's not a miscommunication. That's a decision you made about my life without including me in it. Her, I made a commitment, and now. Me, you made a commitment. Not me. I didn't agree to anything. You volunteered me for the single biggest responsibility a human being can have because you didn't want your mom to keep asking questions at a gender reveal party. Her eyes were filling up. So what are you saying? Me, I'm saying we're done. Her, over this? Over a comment I made at a party. Me, over a comment that revealed what you actually want and the fact that you'd rather trap me into it than be honest about the incompatibility. She started crying for real. I won't pretend it didn't hit me. A year and a half of caring about someone doesn't switch off because they betrayed your trust. But I also knew, in the way you know things in your body before your brain catches up, that if I didn't leave now, I'd be having a very different conversation in 9 months, and it wouldn't be theoretical. I left her apartment that night, drove home, sat in my truck in the parking lot for about 20 minutes. Called my brother, told him everything. He was quiet for a beat and then said, "Get a vasectomy." Me, what? Him. I'm serious. You've known you don't want kids since you were 22. You just had a girlfriend announce to her entire family that you're trying. If this one didn't work, what makes you think the next one won't try the same thing? Take the option off the table permanently. Protect yourself. I thought about it all weekend. Monday morning, I called a urologist. Consultation was that Thursday. He walked me through it, 20-minute procedure, local anesthesia, recovery in a few days. I asked about reversal, and he was honest. Reversal is possible, but not guaranteed, and it's expensive. I said I understood. He asked if I was sure. I said I'd been sure for 6 years. The vasectomy was scheduled for the following Tuesday. My brother drove me. We stopped for Waffle House on the way home because he said, "Nobody's ever been sad today." Waffle House, which is objectively false, but the hash browns were good. I recovered on my couch for 3 days, watched an unreasonable amount of playoff basketball. I went back to work that Friday. I didn't tell my ex about the vasectomy. We were broken up. My medical decisions were no longer her business. But she was about to find out anyway, because she didn't take the breakup as final. And what she did next is why I'm writing this post. Update 1, 8 days later. So after the breakup, my ex did something I should have anticipated, but didn't. She didn't tell her family we'd broken up. I found this out because about 10 days after I ended things, I got a text from her sister, the pregnant one. It said, "Hey, my mom told me you and my ex are trying. I'm so excited we might be pregnant at the same time. Baby cousins." I stared at that text for a solid minute. Then I screenshotted it and sent it to my brother with no caption. He responded with, "Bro." Yeah, bro. So not only did my ex not tell her family about the breakup, she let the trying for a baby lie continue to grow. Her family was out here planning synchronized pregnancies while I was sitting in my apartment, icing my lap and watching the Cavaliers lose. I did not respond to the sister's text. I didn't think it was my place to inform her family of the breakup. That was my ex's job, and if she wasn't doing it, that was going to be her problem, not mine. But 3 days later, my ex called me. I almost didn't pick up, but I've been expecting some kind of contact, and I wanted to get it over with. Me, hey. Her, hey. So, I was wondering if we could talk. In person. Me, about what? Her, about us. I think we ended things too fast, and I want to see if there's a way to work through this. Me, there isn't. I was clear about that. Her, you were upset. People say things when they're upset. I don't think you actually want to throw away a year and a half over one mistake. Me, it wasn't one mistake. It was a deliberate choice to commit me to fatherhood without my consent. That's not a mistake. That's a strategy. Her, oh my God, you make it sound like I was trying to baby trap you. Me, What would you call telling your entire family we're trying for a baby when we're not? Her, I'd call it getting carried away at a party. People say things. I got caught up in the moment. Me, cool. And I'm responding to the moment by removing myself from the situation. We're done. I need you to respect that. She went quiet. Then, I haven't told my family yet. Me, I know. Your sister texted me about baby cousins. Silence. A long one. Her. If I tell them now, they're going to think I'm crazy. Me. That's between you and them. Her. Can you at least not say anything until I figure out how to handle it? Me. I'm not going to contact your family. But I'm also not going to pretend we're together if anyone reaches out to me. She hung up without saying goodbye. At this point, I figured the next few weeks would be awkward, but manageable. She'd tell her family eventually. There'd be some embarrassment, and we'd both move on. That's not what happened. What happened is that she told her family a different story. Not the truth. A version of the truth with all the inconvenient parts removed and some creative additions inserted. Her version, which I pieced together from multiple sources over the following 2 weeks, went like this. We had been trying for a baby. We were both excited about it. Then I suddenly changed my mind, told her I wasn't ready, and broke up with her out of nowhere, leaving her devastated. In this version, she was the supportive girlfriend who was willing to start a family, and I was the flaky boyfriend who backed out and shattered her heart. I found out about this narrative through a mutual friend, a guy I played basketball with on weekends who's also friends with her cousin. He texted me, "Yo, I heard you and your girl split. She's telling everyone you bailed on the baby thing." That true? I called him, told him the actual sequence of events. He listened, asked a few questions, and then said, "Dude, that's insane. She's got her whole family thinking you're the bad guy." I said, "I know." He said, "Are you going to set the record straight?" I thought about it, and I decided something that might seem counterintuitive. No, not yet. Because here's what I've learned about liars. The bigger the lie, the harder it is to maintain. She created a narrative that required everyone to believe I was the villain. As long as nobody heard my side, it held up. But narratives built on lies have a structural weakness. They need more lies to support them. And every additional lie is another point of failure. So I waited, not because I was scheming, because I was tired, and because I knew the truth had a longer shelf life than whatever story she was telling. Meanwhile, her mom entered the picture, and that's where things got genuinely unhinged. Her mom called me on a Tuesday evening. I was making tacos. I answered because I didn't recognize the number. Her mom, "I need you to explain to me why you would promise my daughter a baby and then run away." Me, "Ma'am, I never promised anyone a baby. Your daughter told your family we were trying without ever discussing it with me. I've been clear about not wanting children since before we started dating." Her mom, "That's not what she said." Me, "I understand that. But what she said isn't what happened." Her mom, "My daughter doesn't lie." Me, "Then you should ask her why she told your family we were trying for a baby when we'd never had that conversation. Not once. In 18 months. Her mom, "I think you got scared. I think you realized parenthood was real and you panicked. That's normal for men your age." Me, "I didn't panic. I made a consistent, deliberate decision that I've held for 6 years. Your daughter ignored that decision, made a public commitment on my behalf, and is now surprised that I'm not going along with it." Her mom, "Well, she's heartbroken. I hope you're happy." Me, "I'm not happy. I'm single and eating tacos alone on a Tuesday. But I'm also not going to become a father because your daughter felt peer pressure at a gender reveal." She hung up on me. I finished my tacos. They were solid. Ground turkey, pickled onions, a habanero crema. I've been perfecting. Grief eating has its perks. Then about 4 days later, something shifted. My ex's cousin, the one who's friends with my basketball buddy, called my buddy and said, "Hey, is it true that he didn't actually agree to try for a baby? Because we just found out she's been on a dating app for 2 weeks, and her profile says, looking for someone who wants to start a family, and that doesn't add up with the devastated story." My buddy relayed that to me. I didn't react much externally, but internally I was thinking, she's on a dating app, actively looking for someone who wants kids, while telling her family she's heartbroken because I changed my mind about kids. The story was already cracking. I didn't have to do anything. She was doing it to herself. Update 2, 13 days later. Final update, and I'll keep it as clean as I can. The dating app discovery was the first crack. The second one came from an unlikely source. Her own sister. Remember the pregnant sister? The one who texted me about baby cousins? About a week after the dating app thing came out, she called me directly. I picked up because honestly, the sister had always been decent to me and I figured she deserved a straight answer if she had questions. Her sister, hey, I need to ask you something and I need you to be honest. Me, go ahead. Her sister, did you and my sister ever actually discuss trying for a baby? Me, no. We didn't. Not once. She told your family that at the gender reveal without ever bringing it up with me. I found out over dinner when she said she'd already told everyone. Her sister. So when she said you changed your mind, me, there was no mind to change. I've been openly, consistently child-free since before I met your sister. She knew that from our second date. Her sister was quiet for about 10 seconds. Then, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a feeling. Because when I texted you about baby cousins, you never responded. And my sister got weird about it when I brought it up. She said you were processing. But now she's on Hinge with wants kids in her profile, and I'm due in 6 weeks, and I'm too pregnant and too tired to be lied to. Me, I'm sorry you're in the middle of this. Her sister, I'm sorry she put you through it. And I'm sorry my mom called you. She told me about that conversation, and honestly, she was out of line. Me, I appreciate that. Her sister, one more question, and this is personal, so you don't have to answer. Me, shoot. Her sister, is it true you got a vasectomy? I hesitated, because I hadn't told anyone except my brother, which meant either my brother talked, unlikely, he's a vault, or my ex was guessing. Me, where did you hear that? Her sister, my sister told our mom that you probably went and got fixed just to spite her. She said it like it was the most evil thing she could imagine. Me, I did get a vasectomy, but it wasn't to spite her. I wanted one for years, and the breakup pushed me to finally do it. It was about me, not about her. Her sister. For what it's worth, I think that's your right. Your body, your choice. I just wanted to hear it from you. That conversation was a turning point. Not because I needed the sister's validation, but because the sister went back to the family with the actual story. And the actual story didn't match the one my ex had been selling. From what I gathered through my buddy and a couple of other mutual friends, the next family dinner at my ex's parents' house was apparently something. The sister confronted my ex in front of their parents. Asked her directly, did he ever agree to try for a baby? My ex reportedly said I had implied it by talking about the future and being open to the idea. The sister said, that's not what he told me. And your Hinge profile says, wants kids. If you're so devastated about the breakup, why are you on a dating app looking for the exact thing you told us he took away? The mom tried to redirect. This isn't the time, but the sister, 8 months pregnant and fully out of tolerance for nonsense, apparently said, no, this is exactly the time because I've been telling everyone at my baby shower that my sister's boyfriend is excited about starting a family, and it was a lie, and I look like an idiot. My ex's response, relayed to me secondhand. You're all ganging up on me. This is so typical. Nobody in this family ever supports me. Classic. When the story collapses, become the victim of the people who caught you. That's not accountability. That's a redirect. Now here's the part I want to be honest about, because this isn't a victory lap. It's real life, and real life has costs. The fallout wasn't cinematic. There was no big dramatic confrontation between me and her family. No public reckoning. What happened was quieter and in some ways harder. My ex lost credibility with her family. Not permanently. Families have short memories and thick skin when it comes to their own. But for now, the sister keeps her at arm's length. The parents know the truth, but are doing that thing parents do where they acknowledge the lie without fully holding their kid accountable. Her mom hasn't reached out to me again. Her dad, who I'd actually liked, sent me one text that said, sorry about how everything went. Take care of yourself. That's it. That's more than I expected from him. The mutual friends split about how you'd expect. Some stayed neutral. Some quietly sided with me after hearing the full story, and a couple drifted toward her because they only know her version and aren't interested in digging deeper. I didn't chase anyone. The truth is a patient thing. It doesn't need to be loud. My ex hasn't contacted me directly since the sister's call. I blocked her number about a week ago, not out of anger, but because I needed the boundary. Every time my phone buzzed with an unknown number, I'd tense up. That's not healthy. The block was for my nervous system, not my ego. The vasectomy. I went back for my follow-up. Sperm count, 0. Confirmed sterile. My urologist said everything looked good and asked if I had any regrets. I said, not even one. He said, that's what I like to hear. Most of the guys who come in sure stay sure. I shook his hand and drove home. My brother called that evening. I told him the results. He said, how do you feel? I said, free. He said, good. Now, stop dating crazy people. I said, I'm going to stop dating entirely for a while. He said, also valid. Here's where I'm at now. I'm in my apartment. It's clean. I've always been tidy, but there's something about reclaiming your space after a breakup that makes you want to scrub every surface. My kitchen is stocked. My truck runs. Work is good. We just picked up a contract for a new commercial build, and I'm running the rough in on the second floor. My hands are busy. My mind is quieter than it's been in months. I think about her sometimes. Not with anger, with something closer to exhaustion. She wasn't evil. She wanted something, a family, the approval that comes with announcing a pregnancy, the feeling of keeping pace with her sister. Those are human desires. But the way she went about it, announcing a decision I never made, letting the lie grow, rewriting the breakup to make me the villain, dragging her family into a fiction. That's not how you get what you want. That's how you lose what you have. The thing I keep coming back to is that she had options. She could have told me, honestly, 6 months ago, I think I want kids and I know you don't. Where does that leave us? And I would have said, it leaves us at a crossroads. And I love you, but I won't pretend the crossroads isn't there. We could have broken up with dignity. We could have been sad about something real instead of angry about something manufactured. Instead, she chose the gender reveal shortcut. Commit publicly, deal with the reality later, and hope social pressure does what honest conversation couldn't. And when that didn't work, she rewrote history to protect her image instead of just telling the truth. I wanted something he didn't. We split up. It hurts. That's the sentence that would have ended this cleanly. 6 months from now, nobody would remember or care. But she couldn't say it because it required admitting that the incompatibility was there from the start, and she chose to ignore it. That's a hard thing to admit. I get it. But hard truths told early cause a lot less damage than easy lies told late. I'm 28. I'm sterile by choice. I'm single by necessity. And I'm sitting on my couch on a Wednesday night with a beer and a dog I adopted last week from the shelter. Some kind of lab mix who follows me everywhere and sleeps on my feet. I didn't. T-plan on the dog. He was there, and he needed someone, and I needed something alive in my apartment that was happy to see me. He doesn't care about my reproductive choices. He cares about the treats in the cabinet above the stove and whether I'm going to let him on the couch. The answer is yes. Every time. My brother came over last weekend. He met the dog. His kids, my niece and nephew, spent an hour on my living room floor playing tug-of-war with a rope toy. My brother looked at me, then at the dog, then at his kids, and said, see, you got the fun uncle setup. Dog, no responsibilities, disposable income. You're living the DLC, man. I laughed. For the first time in weeks, I actually laughed. I'm good, Reddit. Not perfect. There's a dull ache where the relationship used to be, and some nights the apartment feels too quiet, even with the dog. But I'm intact. My boundaries are intact. My body is my own, and nobody is making announcements about my future without my permission ever again. To anyone reading this who's been pressured about having kids, by a partner, by family, by society's weird obsession with timelines, your body is yours. Your timeline is yours. And anyone who tries to override that by committing you to parenthood without your consent isn't planning a family with you. They're planning a family around you. There's a difference, and the difference is everything. Take care of yourselves. Pet your dogs. Eat your tacos. I'm out.